I think in Islamic finance, very early, the days of IOFI, they recognized that they needed standards for accounting to avoid having their financial statements to be non-comparable. And in a standard, when you develop a standard, you have to appreciate that the standard may or may not come to your practice, you see, and that's where you should be willing to give up your practice for others. I think that's a fundamental issue for the halal industry. If they are to certify that and give some comfort to the users, even to attract new ones, because the new ones will be at a dilemma. Whom should they follow? Should they follow, for example, a market leader on this, or whom would they follow? And so the industry should be able to discuss this and come in. And that was the basic challenge in IOFI, for example, is, for example, if somebody were to account for it in a certain way and you change it, that may hit their bottom line, meaning their revenue. And hence, they would be prepared for that, or they should be prepared for that, right, in order to give up part of their practice for a better, practice. In order to come up with a standard, it's good to develop the standard, but the most important thing, I think, for a standard is to implement it. And it's in that implementation that you show that you recognize that standard. I really don't know about that, but what I would say is that if you are to get closer and closer, I think one thing is that you have to be tolerant to things. And by being tolerant is to understand the other's point of view. What may happen in a situation, for example, whereby you may have the economic forces to enforce so that people will come to implement yours. If you are a bloc, for example, and you have economic forces for that, and I've heard this, for example, in Southeast Asia, some people are saying, oh, we have the economic forces, why can't we implement our Sharia way of thinking of it, right? So if you have your own economic forces, you may implement whatever you want, right? But would that lead to the consensus you were hinting? I doubt it very much. I think rather than using these forces, one has to start a dialogue. And by that dialogue, that's the basic thing in a standard, you see. Before you promulgate a standard, you have to get into a discussion. And that discussion would mean that people will voice their own concern on others' position. And hence, at the point in time, whether you will adopt that or not, it depends to what extent you will be willing to accept other people's point of view.